So here come the two teams now. Max Evans bringing up the rear for Scotland. The Kenyans looking very lively and up for it. Our referee is CARLO DAMASCO, who is running onto the field of play now, and there's a huge contingent of Kenyan supporters here, and well, they're certainly excited.
Yeah, I was down amongst them about an hour ago, but I'm telling you, wherever you go around the world, the Kenyan support is massive. They are the darlings of the Seventh Circuit, without a doubt.
So do you think they'll have the neutrals on their side for this game?
I don't think they need the neutrals with the amount of support they've got down there.
I'm sure the predominantly English side may back the Kenyans ahead of the Scots.
I think you're right.
So, Kenya going to get us off and underway. As I say, game number 14 and the fourth in Pool C, and this really, I think, is the battle for second place in the pool. The Italians yet to score a point, and almost there with the breakaways INJERA, but the ball was knocked forward, and already we're hearing the booing there. The referee blowing on his whistle.
Holding before Troy.
This is going to be a scrum.
There's Mark.
And Gregor's going to put that ball in for the Scots. Colin Gregor, 25-year-old Glasgow warrior. Kenya, though, with possession of the ball and looking sharp in the early exchanges here. That's fed out now by Kyangi, out towards the left-hand side. Kenya looking dangerous now, out towards the left wing. Takes two Scots to bring the Kenyans down. Now on the 22. Lithe and athletic. That's Kahuthia now, looking for Simiyu, who scored a try in the opening game against New Zealand. INJERA. Good tackle there by, amongst others, Roddy Grant. Kenya now, long pass out towards the left-hand side. If he gets that second pass away, will he get his man into space? Ball's picked up by Kyangi. Kenya with the territorial advantage and indeed the possession. And here we go now. This is going to be the first try of the game. It's scored by Kenya, and it's Dennis Mwanja who goes over in the right-hand corner. Mwanja with the scrum cap on, and Kenya making an early mark here, going over in the right-hand corner, selling the dummy and going around the wide right. Yeah,
great play there by the Kenyans. They managed to keep the ball for a good 30 to 45 seconds there. They didn't panic, and they moved the Scottish boys around the pitch, and they maintained their discipline at the contact area. But they manufactured their opportunity, but actually it's a missed tackle there by Max Evans. Gives them the opportunity, and he scores in the corner. But great lead-up play by the Kenyans to actually stretch the Scottish defence.
Collins INJERA for 2 more points, and he won't be getting them. That ball went quite wide of the posts. But a good start by Mwanja, and Scotland will just have to gather themselves. Scotland 0, Kenya 5, and 4.5 minutes remaining of the first half. Max Evans will be kicking himself as well with that missed tackle. You can't afford to do that in sevens.
He'll be disappointed, but you know, it's how he bounces back from that. That's gone now, but it just shows how important your one-on-one tackles are in this game.
Restart, attempt to palm down there by Scott Forrest. It's Kenya who have possession though, and the momentum as they move up towards the Scottish 22. Good tackle by Roddy Grant. Shock of red hair. And here comes Scotland now. First chance to attack, that's Evans out towards the left-hand side. Here's Robertson now. Robertson, who's got some real pace about him. Knocking the ball back. There's Evans. And now going down the blind side. Wonderful play from Gregor. Gregor on the inside to Robertson. Robertson looking for some support. Eventually comes in from Evans. Evans handing off his man, and then just fumbles at the last moment. Ball went forward. Scrum to Kenya. So near and yet so far.
Yeah, there's better signs from Scotland there that they're retaining the ball. They've just got to just assess these offloads, whether they're on before they throw them here. Max should have held on to the ball here, mate. He's just let the ball slip out of his grip there, and they're the little things that make the difference.
Scrum down.
Play on.
Oh, poor pass by the Kenyans. Scotland will try and capitalise on that. 5-metre scrum. It was actually very well played by Gahuthia, who had a couple of angry Scots breathing down his neck there.
Interesting again, the Scotland attacking the Kenyan scrum, and very, very, very important part of the game, especially when the Kenyans are so close to their try line. But they've got an opportunity, got the ball back, middle of the pitch, a lot of space to play with now.
Well, they attack again. There's Gregor out onto the right-hand side. A little cut through comes. Oh, spilt at the last minute. And that was Michael Adamson, who was a yard away from the line and spilt it at the very last moment. Agonising for him.
Agonising for Scotland again. I mean, the positive to take from this, they are creating the opportunities. Now they've got to finish with them. At international rugby, 7s or 15s, you get limited opportunities and you need to finish them.
Crunch. Touch.
Still applying the pressure though, the Scots. 5-metre scrum again. Can Kenya hold out? They have the lead by 5 points to 0.
With the hands. It's come off.
Referee Damasco once again giving the 5-metre scrum to the Scots.
They're getting a lot of returns from the scrummage time, so their backs need to come to the party now and get over for the score.
Oh, but Kenya have nicked it, and that's good play from the Kenyans. Can they strike now and put Scotland on the back foot? Lovely run here now, up towards halfway. Little flick inside, this is INJERA. We know he can shift, and he's going to have the pace on Robertson. INJERA scores the second try for Kenya. Their lead is 10 points to 0, and Scotland, after all their pressure, territory and possession, find themselves 10 points to 0 down.
That is international rugby. At 7s especially, you can have all the pressure, but if you don't take your opportunity, then it sometimes comes back to haunt you, and that's what's happened here. They've stolen the scrum and they've gone the length. They've got very, very quick men, Kenya, and they've exploited that there.
And 2 more points as well from the conversion means that it's Kenya 12, Scotland 0.
This is wonderful. He attacks the space, but the guy on the outside holds his line, holds your line. A wonderful flick to the number 11, Collins INJERA, and this guy's got wheels to burn.
Yeah, he's not slow, and he can quite rightly wear a pair of white boots. If you're as quick as him, doesn't matter what colour boots you wear. Scotland 0, Kenya 12. There's the half-time hooter. Play on though, says the referee. This is Max Evans. Little cross kick comes in there. That's a very clever move there. And here comes Robertson now. Little ball inside. Here's Evans, Gregor. And that is Roddy Grant. And that is Robertson. And that is good play from Scotland. Finally a move coming together for them. Robertson slows down and puts the ball down on the ground between the posts. So that's exactly what Scotland needed going into the break, and a conversion right in front as well.
That is just what they needed, and they'll be very happy with that. But fantastic vision by Colin Gregor with that cross kick. But again, that gave them the opportunity to stretch the Kenyan defence. But what made it was the support of Michael Adamson and Mark Robertson to get there in order that they can then get under the post to score the try.
Well, could be a cracking second half we have here. Scotland 7, Kenya 12. Second position, we imagine, if all goes according to plan, with New Zealand winning all 3 of their pool games. It's going to be a really interesting 7 minutes of sevens rugby.
I think so. I think, you know, this is what you want, where any sort of mistake could cost your team, which means that these young players are now going to have to step up to the plate, be precise in what they do, and actually have the ambition to go out and win the game.
Stephen Gemmell, who is the Scottish coach, reading the riot act, perhaps not quite, encouraging.
I think he's saying that, you know, the bottom line is if they look after the ball and they make good use of their opportunities, they'll score tries. So they're doing everything right, they just need to do it slightly better. And
Benjamin Ayimba will be giving the Kenyan team talk. Arms around each other, real feeling of camaraderie amongst those Kenyan players. 6 former captains amongst their squad of 12, so they've certainly got experience and leadership there.
They won't be short of a word then if they've got 6 captains.
Too many cooks spoiling the broth, perhaps.
But they have got wonderful, wonderful athletes, and you know, the Scots have got to be on their mettle, because if they give this INJERA half a yard, he'll be gone.
There's one try between these two sides. 7 minutes of rugby for what we imagine and think will be the second position in this pool, and possible quarter-final in the cup against the team that finishes top of Pool D. Pool D pretty competitive: South Africa, England, Wales and Portugal. Kenya with the first chance to attack in this second half. That's INJERA. Oh, knocked on by Kenya. That could be a fatal mistake. And Scotland with a chance to come up with something here, Mike Friday.
Yeah, wonderful pressure there. They showed the Kenyans the outside, but the important thing was their 4th and 5th defender in the Scottish line put real pressure on the postman. He took his eye off the ball, looked at the Scottish defender, knock on. So they've got an opportunity early on now to get over for another score.
And they will know it, these Scots. Important times if they can get this try early on at the start of the second half. Reverse ball from the scrum half there. Evans out towards Robertson. Robertson running towards the edge of the pitch and then turns back. Here's Max Evans. Loses the ball though. Ball is kicked forward. And another chance for Scotland to attack from the scrum.
Time off.
Injury over on the far side of the field. The Kenyan down on the pitch.
Looks like INJERA, I think.
It was the white boots, certainly.
Oh no, that's INJERA next to him.
Looks like it's an arm injury of some variety, perhaps a shoulder or an elbow. Humphrey Kyangi up on his feet. Well, the Kenyans have not been lucky with their injuries so far. I'm pleased to report that Edwin Shimenga, who was poleaxed during their first game, is apparently back up on his feet and okay. There was a lengthy stoppage in their opening game against New Zealand for Shimenga, who came into contact with Cocker of New Zealand in a fairly forceful manner. Here comes Scotland then, trailing by 5 points in their second pool game. Max Evans with Roberts on his outside. Can't get the ball away though. Kenyan defence holding firm at the moment, and the Kenyans have picked the ball up, turned it over, and now can they counter-attack? Run comes in, it's Mwanga, but turned over again by Scotland, and this time it's Roddy Grant running forward, out towards the left-hand side. Here's Max Evans, quickly on towards Colin Gregor. Move forward, the Kenyans have managed to retain possession. It's picked up by Victor Sudi Simiyu. Picked up by Ochieng. Here come the Kenyans again from inside their own 22. Little reverse ball, not quite sure anybody knew where that ball was going there. There's Mwanga. INJERA. And now out towards the right-hand side. Now can they use that pace that they have? Oh, lovely delay of the pass there. Here come Kenya now. Could this be the crucial score of this match? Into the hands of Sydney ASHIOYA. And ASHIOYA is going to go over and increase that Kenyan lead. Kenya score their third try. And a crucial blow from the Kenyans. Scotland trail by 10 points. It's Kenya 17, Scotland 7. And just under 4 minutes for Scotland to get back in this game, Mike.
Yeah, wonderful work by the Kenyans there. They worked tirelessly in defence. They got the ball back. Very physical to start with in order to get some go forward, and then they moved the ball to the space and kept it alive. Their support play is fantastic. I mean, these guys run all day for one another.
And the conversion is scored as well, so the gap is now up to 12 points.
Wonderful show and go there, and great support by the number 8, Sydney ASHIOYA, to support his man to score under the sticks.
I think it was Ochieng who was the man who delayed his pass, number 1.
Yeah.
And that was really what made the try. Just delaying, great sevens play. And several of the Scottish players have hands on their hips. They're going to have to conjure something up pretty special now in the last 3 minutes of the match. But they can't score tries if they don't have possession of the ball, and it's Kenya now who have possession, but they've given away a penalty, didn't release on the ground. Now then, here's Gregor out towards the left-hand side, and this is a storming run now. Storming run from Adamson. Adamson out towards Ben Cairns, who's on the pitch as a replacement. Adamson, a lot of sideways movement, very little forward movement. Here comes Cairns now. Cairns with Robertson outside him, chooses to go inside though, and Scotland are going to score, and they needed that score. It's Colin Gregor who goes over, and in the nick of time for Scotland. They're not finished yet. Scotland 12, Kenya 19, and he's going to quickly send over the extra 2 points with the kick, which puts Scotland up towards the 14-point mark, or does it?
Great team try there. What a Scottish 10 there. Ben Cairns, he didn't panic even though he knew he couldn't get to the line himself, and he knew his support was coming. Colin came through late, Colin Gregor, and dotted the try down under the sticks, which is very important now with that conversion going over.
Scotland 12, Kenya 19. And what we got? 1 minute and 48 seconds remaining. Kenya make a couple of changes. On runs Biko Adima.
Yeah, that's all right.
Here's one of the changes.
Time on.
Can Kenya hold out? Mexican wave going around the stadium. Crucial times.
Wonderful restart to get the ball back.
Well, they've got it back, haven't they? There's Roddy Grant working hard. And that is Ben Cairns who really made that crucial try just then. Michael Adamson is working hard. There's Gregor. Out towards the left-hand side, Scott Forrest. And now here's Robertson. Big man. The Kenyans have turned this one over though. They have. Only a minute remaining. Kenya, of course, have got to the semi-finals of the Cup in the last tournament, and there's the kick ahead, and the Kenyans are quick, we know that. It's going to be a real chase back. Well played by Robertson, he managed to get back there in time, and now he's taken one of the Kenyans for a ride over the 22. There's Roddy Grant, wonderful stuff. Running forward, this is the last chance saloon for Scotland into the last 40 seconds. Still inside their own half. They mustn't panic, they've got the penalty. Oh, here is the time now just to calm things down. Ball comes inside to Cairns. Cairns doubles back.
Stay.
Robertson out on this right wing is itching for the ball to come his way. This is Forrest. Forrest running forward. Held up. 10-metre line.
Stay.
A little bit of support here, the Scots at the back of the ruck that is formed. Adamson has to get up himself. Well, we're down to 0, so they need to score from this move, Scotland. Ball inside to Robertson. Robertson is free. Robertson going to cut inside. Robertson for the try line. Cuts inside another man. He's got support. He needs to find a man. He does in Adamson. Out towards the left-hand side. Ball comes forward. Forrest into the hands of Simon Cross. Ball squirts loose. Can Kenya get their hands on the ball? Well, some sort of a hand is on there. Still in Scottish possession. They trail by 5. A try now would level things up. Here's Robertson, but the Kenyan defence is firm. This now is Cairns. Long floated pass out. Tackle comes in. Scotland need to score here. This now is Forrest out towards the left-hand side. Crucial moments in this tournament. Inside now towards Cairns. Cairns going on the 5-metre line. Now they'll go again. This is Forrest. Forrest scores for Scotland. Scores are level. Scores are level. And there is a conversion to come for Scotland. What a crucial kick this is.
What a wonderful play by this young Scotland team. They did not panic. They kept the ball and they looked after the ball. And they worked so hard for one another. You know, the man of the moment really, Mark Robertson, who made the 60-yard chase back to get a ball 30 seconds earlier, but he kept the ball alive at crucial times, enabled Scotland to regenerate, and then they've managed to get over for a score. And I think it's down to Michael Adamson to try and put this ball over.
Well, Adamson. It's not a nice angle at all for Adamson.
All right. You can now.
And this is it. This is the crucial moment. Can Adamson get the kick over? The crowd start the booing and the whistling, which is probably not called for. And here he goes, the biggest kick of his life. Here he comes. Oh dear, he's hoiked it. And the match will end as a draw. Scotland 19, Kenya 19, honours even.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a fair result. That young Scotland team at the end there will have learnt a great deal. Fantastic effort, fantastic composure to manufacture and give themselves the opportunity to win the game. They've come out of it with a draw, but I think it's a worthy result.